Beginning in 1891, the Rio Grande Southern Narrow Gauge Railroad operated trains through the southwest corner of Colorado. The railroad traveled along the western front of the San Juan Range of the Rocky Mountains between Durango and Ridgway. This railroad was the vision of a road builder by the name of Otto Mears. His goal was to connect the numerous silver mines in the San Juan Mountains with the outside world. Despite a strong start, the railroad soon struggled, caused by the silver panic of 1893. The Rio Grande Southern continued to limp along for another half-century before finally losing the U.S. mail contract in 1949 and shutting its doors for good in 1952. Outside of a few bridges that are slowly being reclaimed by nature, there's not too much that still exists from the old RGS. However, there are a number of pieces of vintage railroad equipment scattered across the American Southwest. Of those, Rio Grande Southern Locomotive 20 is among the best known and loved among railroad enthusiasts. This locomotive was built in 1899 by the Schenectady Locomotive Works in New York, with a 460 wheel arrangement. It originally went to work for the Florence and Cripple Creek Railroad. When the Florence and Cripple Creek shut down in 1915, the 20 was subsequently sold to the Rio Grande Southern. Interestingly enough, it was one of the only Florence and Cripple Creek locomotives to retain its original number after being sold to a new owner. 20 worked for the Rio Grande Southern for the next 3.5 decades, primarily in freight service. It even starred in 2 Hollywood films in the early 1950s. In 1952, when the railroad was shutting down, the locomotive was acquired by the Rocky Mountain Railroad Club and placed on static display in Alamosa, Colorado. It later joined the collection of the Colorado Railroad Museum at Golden, Colorado in 1959. After a half-century of static display, the 20 was completely restored to operation from 2006 to 2020. Today, the locomotive pulls visitors around the museum grounds on short train rides. However, it does occasionally make visits to other narrow-gauge railroads in Colorado. In this video, we will take a look at the 20 in the fall of 2021 when the locomotive operated on a recreated freight train over the Cumbres and Toltec Scenic Railroad. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me for this look at the Rio Grande Southern 20 on the Cumbres and Toltec Scenic Railroad. As always, a special thanks to all my supporters on Patreon. If you would like notifications whenever I post to YouTube, click on the subscribe button and select the Receive All Notifications option. I'll be back next Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time for a brand new railroading adventure right here on the YouTube channel. That's it for now. Until next time, I'm Mike Armstrong. I'll see you down the line. Thanks for watching.